Hello, fellow adventurers. Today on Table Escape Artist, your mission, should you choose to accept it, dining and dragons. So today's table is a guilty pleasure of mine because the theme is a game that I absolutely love to play called Dungeons and Dragons. It's a role-playing game. To join me is my co-producer and another professional in the matters of Dungeons and Dragons.
That.
Yes. So he won't be here in a Lego capacity, but you will be here in the game knowledge capacity.
I think Lego could be incorporated at some point, but let's just do your Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Yes, yes. And here's another pickup right now that you could make. We have a bunch of friends coming.
Yeah.
We all play Dungeons and Dragons, so I thought let me make a theme table for Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
But if there is a board game, a video game, a card game with your family and your friends that you like to do, consider using that as the theme for a get-together. Remember, you're not tied to holidays or birthdays.
Though, the very first tablescape you ever did was Halloween, and it was the board game Clue. That's the first one.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'll think about redoing that table for
That might be a
everyone.
fun idea.
Why
So
not?
how do we start Dungeons and Dragons?
Well, we're going to start where we always begin at the beginning, right with our runner. We want something to focus. Now, D&D tends to take place in a more medieval time frame setting. So I have a burlap sack style runner.
Yeah.
Super simple. I don't want anything flashy. So I went online, did a little Google search, found myself a bunch of different maps of the world of Dungeons and Dragons, but it's the internet, you can have fun. There are so many different kinds of maps. I made sure to actually print completely different ones. I'm showing the entire world just to run around and have fun with that.
Don't love you like I love you.
Yes. So here we have it, and it's a nice balance, completely different colors here on our placemats.
That's weird.
Yeah, absolutely. What we're going to do is now build our centerpiece base. Nothing fancy. Remember, whatever your theme is, all of the objects you put on your table, make sure it keeps craft-wise to that element.
Beautiful box.
Yeah, absolutely. And those colors of those dragons are what help me decide the colors of the plates. So without further ado, let's bust out the dragons.
Let's meet the dragons, everyone.
Meet the dragons. I know the dragon is gold, but his scenery is in the gray-black tone. This will help me neutralize the bursts of colors on either side.
the game board of Dungeons and Dragons.
So what I want to do is help establish a border line. Go ahead and do your thing on this corner. And connect these. As you all know, most board games have a 6-sided dice. One of the charms of Dungeons and Dragons is that it has different sided dice and an entire collection of these different sided dice. And sprinkle them throughout just the grid. We don't want to put them all over the table because that might end up looking sloppy, a little too much all over the place. We want to be able to control this element right here. And what's great about these are they're very affordable. They often come in a variety of colors. So you can really make sure that you're picking up on all of the different colored dishes that you have on display. Now we're going to finish up the table. I want to take one moment and say, if you notice with the grid, I didn't create an entire connected line.
No.
Here's one singular one, I just created a break.
Little islands.
But your eyes already do the rest of the work for you and kind of create that centered square.
Right.
So now let's knock out the rest of the details here. We have our glassware, if you would.
Absolutely.
I went for simple glassware, no colors on it at all. I just chose the right kind of colored napkin to match the plateware. I'm going to lay out some basic cutlery, but while I do that, we have some name plates that I'd like you to help me lay out. Now we just finish up that centerpiece. It can be an a la carte for this, or whatever the game is that you choose. I chose a couple of items that to me represent elements of this game. Artifacts that I've either bought or crafted myself in order to build what that centerpiece is. Now remember, there's people sitting all around you. So there has to be something nice to look at, as if every side of it is the front of it. Right? Make sure with your centerpieces, never create a back. It's very easy to do that, and sometimes you have to cut some things out because they have a back, and that doesn't work.
That would be a critical failure in this case.
Couple of tea lights for lighting ambience. I think that always brings the table finally together, your lighting, whatever you decide to do. And once that's finished, you are ready for your evening of dining and dragons.
I'd like some rolls with my initiative.